leaving Playa del Coco. You know, I hung out at that bay with Brent and Dana in the last episode, and that was great because, you know, they really helped me out when I first got here, getting settled in Coco. So I just wanted to spend some time with them, and I had a chance to do that. But, you know, I'm on a mission. I got to try to get to the canal. I need to make tracks, so I'm going to head south, and I'd like to get to Bahia Baina. If I can get there, it's going to be an overnight. I'll get there tomorrow. So this is day one. Here we go. Let me show you this. My name is Rick. I got my sea legs when I was in the Coast Guard, and I commanded a boat much like this one. Today, I take my small sailboat on coastal passages in search of adventure. In this season, I'm heading south from Banderas Bay with the intention of returning to the Caribbean Sea via the Panama Canal. Living the pirate life. Yeah, me and these pelicans. You know, the longer that I stay in a port, I find that it is harder to leave, especially in those port visits where Karen comes to visit me, especially this visit where Karen came to visit, and also I got to spend some time with my Uncle Chuck, someone who I just don't get a chance to see enough of, as, you know, he lives in Costa Rica. But leave I must, because in the words of the immortal Blues Brothers, I'm on a mission from God. Yeah, I'm on a mission to get to and get through the Panama Canal. Well, it's Monkey Head Rock. Yes, it's visible from Playa del Coco, and it marks the northern entrance to Bahia de Culebra. Those two hotels, one of those hotels is the Hotel Rue, and behind the hotels is the Diamante Nature Adventure Park. And just to the left of that first hill there, that's where all the zip line activity was going on. Well, I got started this morning pretty early. I think we probably left around 6:30 maybe, because towards the afternoon we got some pretty serious winds. I think they started around 10 in the morning, maybe 11. They started kicking up in that little bay there, and but they didn't let up until sunset. Well, that gap up ahead between those two rocks, there's a channel up there. It's narrow, about 200 yards wide. But we got good conditions today. I think it's doable. Well, all the conditions are right for this. I mean, the wind is very light. I'm not getting any sense for any current. About 200 yards wide. The nice thing about, you know, if you have good conditions and you can take these narrow passages, they effectively increase your speed because you don't have to go as far. Well, so far so good. I'm liking my approach to this channel. I think it's going to be all right. Well, I decided to go through here with the autopilot engaged. And I found that there is some current going through here, and there's also some eddy action going on. So, yeah, I had to pay pretty close attention to the autopilot, giving it pretty continuous course corrections. But, yeah, it worked out all right. You know, as Frog's Leap glides past hidden coves and rugged cliffs, I'm struck by the sense of adventure and exploration that awaits me around every corner. Once I was through the channel, there were all kinds of rock formations and little islands to look at. Pretty cool. In the rainy season, this landscape would be just totally lush green, but this is first week of April, so we're not quite there yet. Well, I always have to be ready with the camera, because I never know when there's going to be dolphins. You know, sailing south along Costa Rica's Pacific coast, I'm enveloped by nature's beauty. The gentle lapping of waves against the hull, the calls of exotic birds, and the rustle of palms in the breeze, and of course, these dolphins. Yes, the gentle rhythm of the waves soothes my soul as I navigate this pristine coastline. With each passing mile, I'm filled with gratitude for the opportunity to witness such natural wonders firsthand. Most of my time in the cockpit is spent on lookout and navigating on my handheld Garmin GPS, which is always around my neck. I've got Tamarindo behind me, popular tourist spot, also known as Tamagringo by the locals down here. Well, day one is coming to an end, and yeah, I mean, it's been pretty good, been pretty flat. The weather reports said that the seas would be building, but I'm not seeing any of that. There was some wind earlier, and it was only up there by Tamarindo. Once you're south of Tamarindo, I don't see anything. And as you can see behind me, it's really flat. And got another sunrise to show you. Yeah, they're all different. They're all amazing. So tonight, I'm looking at about 70 miles to Bahia Ballena, and so probably we'll get there around noon tomorrow, noonish. And so I'm just gonna get in there and anchor and just try to get a night's sleep, you know, because when I do these transits that go through the night, I don't get a lot of sleep. So you got to find an anchorage. Well, good morning. It's morning of day 2, and I'm approaching the southern tip of Costa Rica's Nicoya Peninsula. There it is. You can see the island to the right is Isla Cabo Blanca. And actually there's supposed to be an aid to navigation, a lighthouse on that island, and it is not showing. So yeah, I'm kind of glad I'm making this approach during daylight here, or at least at sunrise, so I can kind of see it. Even in the United States, you can't count on seeing aids to navigation lit all the time. When I was in the Coast Guard, I was on a buoy tender up in Sitka, Alaska. you know, we try really hard. We get reports when buoys and lights, day beacons are not showing properly, and we go fix them. But it takes time, and you can imagine you get into Latin America and their ability to react to aids to navigation outages. Certainly that capacity down here is much less than it would be in the States. Another reason to try to do these kinds of things with some daylight as much as you can. Now, I'm a big believer in local knowledge. I'm a big believer in knowing your aids to navigation and reconciling those against your digital chart. But if you make no attempt to know your aids to navigation and reconcile those, at least visually, you're just playing a video game, my friend. Well, you can see there's a lot of moisture in the sky too. We're not quite in rainy season yet. They say that starts in May, and you know, I'm about a week into April. If you start pushing further south than Playa del Coco, it gets cloudy and it gets, you know, there's moisture in the air. And all night last night, I was seeing lightning over land. I got a couple of small light raindrops, but you know, it's coming. I don't know that I'm going to get through the canal this year, because by the time I get staged where I want to be, we'll be in rainy season. I'm not sure I want to really go through the canal in a downpour or dealing with that. So it may be something I do in the beginning of next season. It probably is going to be that. I mean, we'll see. I mean, a lot of it's going to depend on the weather and how I'm feeling, and you know. But I'll tell you this: look at the sea state that I have. You know, the end of this Nicoya Peninsula, it's a headland, you know, so if there's any weather, you're going to get that weather compression, and you're going to get a building sea state, and you're going to get heavier winds, and I'm not getting any of that. So I was going to go to Bahia Ballena and anchor, but because I'm looking at these good sea conditions, what I'm thinking about is crossing Golfo de Nicoya and anchoring off of Los Sueños Marina. But I'm pretty stoked about this weather, so I'm probably gonna pass on Bahia Ballena. Well, I've got to decide what I'm going to do here. I thought I was going to go to Los Sueños Marina, but with this weather, I mean, I might just push on up to Capos. The only problem is it gets me in a little after sunset, but it's not too late. Maybe I'll still have some visibility. I could get anchored. Yeah, there it is. We're looking at Isla Punta Blanco at the tip of the Nicoya Peninsula of Costa Rica, and beyond it is Golfo de Nicoya, and beyond that is Capos. And if you go to the left and continue up Golfo de Nicoya, you get to Punta Arenas. But we're not going to go there. That's kind of an industrial port, not really a cruiser destination. Yeah, you can see the lighthouse on the top. And that's not working right now. Yeah, I'm going for Capos. So I kicked the engine up a couple hundred more RPM. That'll put me there, assuming I don't get any weather that slows me down. If this sea state and if this situation persists, I'll be in good shape. I'll get there right around sunset. Well, change of plan. I thought I was going to be able to get into Capos by sunset, but yeah, it's just not going to happen. So I'm going to instead go to Los Sueños. Well, that's the name of the marina. I'm not going to take a marina slip. I just want to grab an anchorage for some sleep, and get a little bit of work done, and then get underway in the morning. And I'll either go to Capos, I may go to Capos, or I may just go straight to Drake. So Drake Bay, I'm just we'll see. I haven't decided yet, but I think tonight is going to be in an area called Herradura, near a marina called Los Sueños. Yeah. I'm about 4 miles from Herradura, Los Sueños Marina. I'm not going into the marina, but you know, this is about the time when I start thinking, okay, you know, I got to bring the sail down, and I got to kind of start getting my act together here for going into restricted waters. And I'm starting to get my first view of the bay a little bit. It was kind of obscured, you know. There's a lot of moisture in the air, and it's hard to see through it until you get right up on it. So it's just now starting to come into view. I can kind of make out the marina. I'm not going to be going in there though. I'm just going to find an anchorage. It's just an overnight. I'm moving. I'm making my move to the Panama Canal, baby. Yeah, it feels good to have purpose. And right now, my purpose is to lower this mainsail, because I'm heading into Herradura. I'll tell you this, one thing that Los Sueños Marina and Herradura has is an amazing sunset. Look at this behind me, holy cow. Well, thank you for watching this episode of Sailing Frogs Leap. If you're enjoying my journey down the Pacific coast of Latin America towards the Panama Canal and beyond, please consider subscribing to this channel and giving it a like and sharing a link with your friends. It really helps me out. Thank you so much. I'll see you next week. For real-time updates, check out Sailing Frogs Leap on Instagram.